Hey everyone, welcome to Through the Eyes of a Therapist YouTube channel. My name is Crystal Martinez Acosta. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and hopefully I don't have anything in my teeth because I just finished eating tahini with oranges. But anyway, I have this tiny mirror. It's gonna help me. This is Girl Boss. And I just want to introduce you to my world and my private practice. It's called Clarity Counseling, Consultation, and Wellness. That is the poster above me with my logo. And I mostly work from home. Most of my sessions are virtual. I do a lot of different things in my private practice, but the main thing that I do is virtual therapy. You might be wondering how that works, so I want to explain that to you. When we're talking about virtual therapy, I use a electronic health record system called SimplePractice. SimplePractice, which I will link below if you want a code to get some discounts or money off. I don't get like any money from them if I share my code with you. I get like a discount on future months, but what I really like about SimplePractice as an electronic health record system as a therapist is that it has complete practice management inside of it. So that includes being able to write notes for clients, send documents to clients, like all of their consent forms, informed consents, practice policies, HIPAA agreements, everything electronically. And they can get access to it from any device that they have. So if they're using some sort of smartphone, whether it's an Apple or an Android or a laptop or anything like that, then they will be able to sign those consents. And once they sign it, it sends me, the provider, an email saying client so-and-so has completed all of their documents to start therapy, right? So that's a cool thing about SimplePractice. Another thing about it is that you get to keep pretty good organized notes with SimplePractice too. So if you are the kind of person who is a little bit disorganized or isn't quite sure on how to manage a schedule or a calendar, it's really nice to be able to have your calendar in front of you. You get different views on the calendar, such as daily, weekly, or monthly. You can block off times that you're available. You can kind of look at the times that you want to leave open for clients to schedule themselves. And that's what's also really cool about SimplePractice, is that you can let it kind of automate as much of the practice for you as you want to. I don't like to do that because I have control issues. Just kidding. No, I don't. Well, maybe I do a little bit, but it just, some of the automation stuff scares me a little bit, just because I want to have a little bit of control of like the financial aspect of my practice. So for example, something that you can automate in SimplePractice is you collecting your payments at the end of the day. If for some reason you want to, at the end of the day, do something called like a batch collection, where it charges all of your clients' credit cards that they've stored on file at the end of the day for all their different co-pays, it does it like at midnight for you, so that you don't have to go into each of their files and click charge client. It just does all of it automatically for you at the end of the day. The reason I don't like doing that is because sometimes co-payments change, right? Because insurance companies and stuff like that, once a client meets their deductible or whatever, a client's co-pay might change, or a fee changes, or if you don't have a practitioner in your practice that's keeping up with the correct codes or things like that, I'd rather review all that before I charge anybody. So I like to do that kind of sort of manually. So speaking of collecting payments, SimplePractice also has like Stripe integration, but it's HIPAA compliant, which is really nice because I don't want to be worrying about collecting payments. Is this dead? It's dead. I don't want to be worrying about collecting payments and then like somebody's credit card information being leaked, or like a tax person or accountant being able to see the names of my clients. I just want the payment to be processed, and that information is private for both the client and anybody else who tries to access or hack records or anything like that. So everything is encrypted. Also inside of SimplePractice, you have free, I mean, nothing's free in this world, right? But what is included, I guess, is your free telehealth services. So if you want to do telehealth with your clients, which was really good during COVID, at the beginning of COVID, what ended up happening was I was renting a small office, subletting a small office space with one of my really good friends. And we ended up just kind of not renting it out anymore because it wasn't financially feasible to do it anymore. Everybody was going virtual. Nobody was even leaving their houses. So it was just better for us to not rent out an office anymore. So anyway, long story short, you can do virtual sessions on SimplePractice. They're encrypted, and everybody gets a special unique link when they're going to join the call. You can do couples counseling with those links. I think you can send them up to 2 people. So if you were to have like a family session with 2 people or a couple session with 2 people, you can invite those 2 people and they get a link to join the call. So SimplePractice is pretty cool. You can also submit claims online, which is really awesome. It's just a couple of clicks. And that's something that I really enjoyed with SimplePractice versus hiring a whole other person to do your billing. As a solo private practitioner, oh, this is very purple. I don't think I want to do that. As a solo private practitioner who's been trying to kind of like cut costs, it didn't make very much sense for me to, I don't know, like hire a biller. They take anywhere from like 3 to 15% of every payment or whatever that you collect from a client, from an insurance company. And ain't nobody got money for that. So for me, it was easier, much more efficient, cost effective to have myself just do a couple of clicks, submit the claims myself. It also has ERA reports, so it kind of tells you when it went through in your bank account. So you're not having to worry like, did this hit my bank account or not? You get an email saying this claim was paid, and then it tells you like the check number or the electronic transfer number, and you can track it in your bank account. So I really like that feature, especially as somebody who has been a solo private practitioner, a solo therapreneur for a while. Once I hired a contractor in my practice, it was also really easy to add her. It was pretty seamless. The only thing that I didn't like was like the huge price jump. So when you have one person in your practice, like if you're a solo therapreneur, it's a pretty reasonable price. It's like, I think they raised the price recently in 2023. So it was like somewhere from $70 to $80 per clinician. Then before 2023, I think when you would add a clinician, the cost was something like, I don't know, some minimal fee to add a team member, right, onto your clinical team. But now it's like wild. Like I have to pay like almost double and a half to add this person to my team, which is fine. I just have to calculate the cost of whatever it's going to be, right? Like for her to be on my team. So it adds to my overhead, but I just have to be careful with making sure that if she truly is a contractor, I'm not breaking any laws, right? Like, I'm in Texas, so she has to well, I mean, federally, she has to meet the contractor requirements versus like a W-2 employee, but also according to the Texas Workforce Commission and all that stuff, right? Aside from that, we're talking about Simple Practice right now. So once the client gets the link from Simple Practice for their reminders for the session, all they have to do is click. They join like this little waiting room, virtual waiting room, and then the therapist gets to join the session, and then the therapist and the client get to have a session. And so that's really neat because their telehealth is extremely convenient. When I had a therapist last year, I also did it via telehealth. It was super convenient for me because I'm a very busy person. I could be anywhere at any given time in any kind of meeting, and I need to sometimes just take a break to maybe pick up my son or run and get some groceries or do whatever I need to do in the house. And having to stop for a therapy appointment, get in my car, drive to an office, sign in, see the counselor, do my session, cry, wipe off my makeup, wash my face, then drive all the way back home. That's like a whole interruption. So with telehealth, you don't have to do any of that. You are just in the convenience of your car, at home, as long as you're within the state lines of whatever jurisdiction your counselor is licensed in. So for example, I'm in Texas. I can only see clients who are physically within Texas state lines at the time of session. So I could see somebody, I'm in El Paso, Texas, so somebody could be in Dallas or in Houston or in Killeen, Texas, and they could be seeing me virtually. And they can go right back to their business after they are done seeing me virtually. So if you're doing a special like modality, EMDR or tapping like EFT or something like that, the only thing that you want to make sure is to train your client to do your bilateral stimulation through your computer app, through your like the eye movements or the tapping. I hope that wasn't too loud. Or anything that you're going to be doing through the screen so that they can understand what it is that they're needing to do and the instructions are clear. If you want to share something with the client, you can do a share screen. You can also do like a whiteboard. Like sometimes I want to explain like the CBT triangle, or I want to explain neuroplasticity, or I want to explain something that I need to draw, right, with a client. So I'll pull up my whiteboard and I'll share that information with the client, describe it with them over like a whiteboard drawing. Then you can also like save the whiteboard that you drew on, and you can save it to their files. If you do a genogram, you can also do that with the client. You have circles, squares, triangles that are already preset in there. I really like all these features. I've gotten pretty used to Simple Practice. I've been using it since 2019, so I don't think I'll switch at any time unless somebody gives me like free EHR or something. But I think it's pretty worth the price. Just remember that whenever you're attending your session, even if the person is not using Simple Practice, the counselor is not using Simple Practice, if you're a client, make sure that you're in a private area. If you're going to be attending therapy at work, for example, make sure your boss isn't going to walk in on you. Make sure that maybe you're on a break. If you're going to be in your car, maybe be inside of a garage or somewhere that's not very public. Also, make sure if you're going to be in your house, I advise some of my clients to kind of stay away from cameras, like, you know, those security cameras that you keep inside your house, like just, you know, to keep record of stuff. I tell them to kind of stay away from there, because if people have access to those cameras or whatever's being recorded, they can hear what you're talking about. So remember, not only do counselors protect and respect your privacy as much as possible, you've got to do your part too. So always remember that. I'm hoping that all this information is helpful and you consider doing telehealth with a therapist or a counselor instead of going to their office, because if that's what's stopping you, if what's stopping you is time or convenience or your busy lifestyle and you're not making time for your mental wellness, there's really not an excuse anymore, especially now with telehealth. It's so convenient and efficient and accessible, especially if you have like a device with a camera on it. There are some therapists who even do telephone appointments. I do telephone appointments with certain clients who are not very tech savvy, and we do that, and there's no judgment. If you have any questions about telehealth, if you have any questions about Simple Practice and how to use it, I gotta do my eyebrows and I can't find my eyebrow pencil. I can only find this one. I got it at the dollar store. I don't really like it very much, but I guess I'm gonna have to use it. But yeah, if you have any questions about opening a private practice, about using Simple Practice, about how to share records with your clients, or if you're a client and you're seeking therapy and you are wondering how telehealth works, or you have any doubts or misunderstandings, reach out to me. You can comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be trying to upload videos about mental health and telehealth and anything that I feel like people should know through the eyes of a therapist, through my eyes. Again, I'm Crystal Martinez Acosta, licensed professional counselor, and I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to visit me on Instagram at Through the Eyes of a Therapist. And for more information about my services, please visit www.clarityelpaso.com. Also, come find me on TikTok.